Welcome everybody. Welcome to Crawley College. My name's Dan Creed and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this sort of presentation looking at creative media at Crawley College. I'm the head of learning for the area and today I'm going to be supported by Ralph and Clive, two of the lecturers on the course. If you've got any questions throughout the presentation, if you please type them in the Q&A box. And then at the end of the presentation, we will look at those questions and answer all of those questions as best we can and as fully as we can. But please use the chat section to highlight any technical issues. So if you can't hear any of the speakers, please pop it in the chat and we will be able to support you with that. We will be recording the presentation. So if you wish to come back and have another look, and you'll be sent a link to do that, please do so, and there'll be a link to the videos that are embedded within the presentation as well. The courses at Crawley College actually provide a rich mixture of film production, photography, sound editing and animation. So if we move on to the next slide, and in this we're going to watch a video which is made by our current level 3 students back in term 1 of this year, which just gives you their experience of what being a student in media is all about.
Creative media is one of the UK's biggest and most exciting industries, with a vast array of career options in TV, animation, film, gaming and digital media.
My favourite part of the course has to be the photography section, because my interest is taking pictures of other people and nature and making them look the best I can. One of my favourite pictures I took was the one of Ethan. It's when he was standing in the water, crouched down, and I used a camera, I turned it upside down and took a reflection photo. The water looks clear as day, and I made it black and white so you can see all of the sharp details.
Favourite part of the course would be being able to use all the equipment that we can. So high-tech cameras to film on, little digital cameras that we can use for photography, so many things. It's more getting hands-on experience really, which is better for some people.
You'll be supported through your college journey by our excellent team of tutors who are there to help and guide you to your goals, developing industry standard skills on the way.
Every student is different, and I think it's really important to recognise where the students are at and where they're going to go to. We've got our specifications, we've got our units, so we know where this journey is going to be taking them, but to get there, each student will have a slightly different journey. So we're going to look at the kit that we're going to use, we're going to look at their own interests and build those into what we deliver for them.
Well, in most cases with most students, we probably get like really stressed and anxious about doing like a certain project in a certain amount of time, and like your classmates and your teachers and lecturers are really good at like helping calm you down. They kind of take you to one side, make sure that you're calm enough, and they tell you like, look, it's gonna be fine, you can get through this, and they just kind of help push you on, I guess.
My classmates have helped me a lot through this. They have been there for us. We work together as a team. We've all put our bits and bobs in. We've all helped each other. We've all been like in photography sections, cinematography sections. So we've all been in films, little movies that we made, little dance films we made, and then the photos we've taken. We've all been working together. And then the tutors, they've helped a lot as well. They have set us up. They've given us all the guidance we need. Because when I came here, I barely knew how to use a camera, and now I think I'm like a B-Tech pro.
So for me, working with the students, the stories they have to tell I find really intriguing. The personal stories, the narratives, the wealth of knowledge and background that they bring to the classrooms are fascinating, and building those stories into their work I find really exciting. Media for me is inherently an enjoyable process because it's about sharing, expressing ideas. The fun is part of that process. Everyone has different thoughts on what is fun. I think the classroom has to be a respectful environment, a joyful environment, and I think allowing students to express themselves is possibly one of the greatest examples of what fun can be.
For more information on this course and other courses that our college provides, contact us today.
I think that video hopefully sort of demonstrates some of the things that we do on the course and gives you sort of a flavour. Obviously, one of the things for us is being able to invite prospective students to the campus when we come out of lockdown, and we'll be looking to celebrate all of the student work at the end of this academic year as well. While at the college, you will be working on live briefs, you will be working on real world projects, getting hands-on experience with industry standard equipment. We are passionate about teaching students how to use this equipment to realise their creative vision. This involves learning about what lens to use in different circumstances. It's learning visual editing software. So for photography, that's things like Photoshop, InDesign for design and layout, Premiere Pro for video editing, and After Effects for sort of digital video manipulation. We also look at location and studio lighting, and we look at sound and sound recording techniques. In terms of the courses that we offer, and if we go to the next slide, this just gives you an idea of how the courses map to the different levels. So we offer courses that start at level 1, and some students will come in at level 1 where they will be developing their practical foundation needed for media and digital production. Some students will start at level 2, which is the equivalent to a GCSE, and this is the UAL level 2 Diploma in Creative Media Production and Technology. At level 2, you'll start to explore independent briefs and developing that much more detail. And at level 3, it's starting to develop the theoretical landscape that underpins a lot of the practical work you'll be doing. There are more independent project works, but the expectation on you to drive creative projects in the direction you want to drive them in, whether that's photography or film or sound or animation. Students at level 3 can then progress on to university. They could progress onto a higher national diploma, and at the college we have a higher national diploma in creative media production, which is a 2-year course mapped to the first 2 years of a university course. This is particularly geared towards professional cinematography and professional editing at the college. All of these courses, however, are designed to develop the creativity and the soft skills required to be successful in the media sector. Now, if I move on to the next slide, we are officially outstanding as a college, and I think this underpins our commitment to the student journey. We are very proud of our Ofsted rating. So Ofsted visited the college in March 2020, so it's a very recent inspection, and we were judged as outstanding in every area. For us, that is still an ongoing journey that we want every single student to have that outstanding experience. Now, before we take questions, I am just going to tell you a little bit more about the study program. So as part of a student at college, you'll be part of a study program. Study program is tailored to fit the needs of the students. It consists of 4 components. One of those components could be maths and English, certainly literacy and numeracy. So even at level 3, you might be developing those core skills which aid you to be employable and to demonstrate those employability skills. If you haven't achieved a grade 4 in maths or English, you'll be supported to achieve that grade. As part of the study program, you'll be doing work experience, which is supported by our Progression Plus team, and you'll be part of a tutorial program which is called ACES, which stands for Attitude, Choices, Employment and Skills. As part of ACES, you'll also have one-to-ones with your student tutor, and that's our opportunity to offer bespoke support for each and every individual student. We also have a very thriving SU. The college group itself is proud to have one of the most vibrant SUs across the country. As part of the SUs, you can be involved in all sorts of extracurricular activities. They do all sorts of different bits and pieces. They do football teams, they do support, and obviously they're doing a lot of support right across the college at the moment. And we're very proud, obviously, to have that in place. It means that we are getting constant feedback from students, that we're able to continually listen to what they have to say. And they are central to our kind of vision of changing lives through learning. So I hope you found the information informative. We'll now move to questions, and as I said, I'll be supported by Ralph and by Clive, two of my colleagues, through answering some of these questions. So the first question is, what sorts of projects will I be working on? So Clive, would you like to just expand on some of the projects students are working on at the moment?
That's a very good question. Types of projects, they are so broad. We have students who are really into manga, for example, and so we are seeing some fantastic artwork being created for graphic novels from them. We've got students who are passionate about music, so music videos are a great thing that they're really keen to get involved with. Photography, with this lockdown, students are really improvising great ways of utilizing photography to capture maybe images of nature, for example. So the breadth of projects that students are doing are as broad and as varied as those students themselves, I'd say.
Brilliant, thank you, Clive. So this person's asking, what can I do once I've completed the course? So obviously, depending on the different levels, the journey of progression is either into employment, it could be an apprenticeship, could be university. So it depends on which level, which might direct the next steps for you once the course is completed. Our Progression Plus team, however, will support the students. So it's about having those conversations with students so that they're being given the best advice and guidance on what those next steps are. So the reality is we will support you to go wherever you want to go.
And Dan, in that regard, one of the things that's really huge at the moment is social media. And we see social media, it's prevalent, and the need for media content is massive. So a student who leaves a course who can operate a camera, who can edit, who can put together a shot, who can produce a sequence of images, is going to be very employable within that sector.
And I think that, the next question is looking at jobs. And I think that, as you've just alluded to, Clive, there's lots of jobs. And media is one of those areas that bleed into lots and lots of different sectors. So part of my role is to work with engineering firms who also have quite a large media part of their company. It is a huge part, and so you'll be trained in how to use the technology, trained how to sort of demonstrate and illustrate your creativity in being able to respond to live briefs. That's mirroring what the jobs out there in the media sector are like. We also look at data analytics, so looking at things like YouTube. If you were to go into social media, into YouTube, what are the data that underpins that to be successful? So it's starting to look at how you are going to be successful being employed in this sphere. And we run things like how to be successful as a freelancer. That links into some of the ACES program material, which is around being self-employed, being able to work as a freelancer in a technical context. I didn't know, Ralph, if you wanted to come in terms of any of the sort of photography jobs that come in. You're muted, Ralph, sorry.
Sorry, so Dan, yeah, you did mention the freelance sector there. Obviously, freelance photographers are very, very common, and we have lots of students who have very personal visions about how they would like to approach their photography. So whether that's looking at portraiture or landscape work. But I think in terms of employability as a photographer, obviously photography comes into many, many different sectors today, from magazines through to social media, as you've said, through to promotional work for various companies in their various corporate elements of their business. So there's a great demand for photographers out there, and obviously everybody can be a photographer today. So we just try to encourage them, students that are on the course, to develop those skills, to develop their understanding of how to refine the skills of taking a good picture and working with light and various lenses for whatever the job is in hand.
Brilliant, thank you, Ralph. So the next question is asking about the requirements to get onto the level 3 media course. So the entry requirements for the course are 4 GCSEs, A to C or grade 4 and above. We run 2 different level 3 provisions though. With media, we recognise that there'll be students that will be have 4 GCSEs, grade 4 and above, but if they have 1 in English or 1 in maths, they can come on to a diploma course. So we do operate sort of 2 levels at level 3, but we also offer the extended diploma, which is where you would have both English and maths at grade 4. So if you don't have English and maths at grade 4, you can be working towards them as part of the level 3 program, as part of the study program. But at level 3, you normally, we wouldn't take students who needed both. We would recommend a level 2 program. And that's really about making sure that students aren't on a program which is overwhelming for them. It's important that whatever study program starting point for a student, that they feel that they are in control of their learning journey, and that we are having that conversation. During the interview process, so if you apply, we interview students, and part of that discussion is trying to make sure that students are given the right advice and guidance. We will talk you through the different levels and what they involve. We'll ask you about what your current predicted grades are. And from that, we will be trying to sort of discuss with you what we think is the most appropriate level for you as an individual. So it is about having that conversation with students. It is about trying to make sure that they are on the right level to progress them forwards. And we want to make sure that students are on the right level. If a student starts in the first few weeks and we feel that they've started on level 2, but actually they are more appropriate and they're operating at level 3, we will look to move that student up as well. So it is about being dynamic. It is about those individual conversations with people as well. The next question is about the new STEM building. So very excitingly, the college is building a new science, technology, engineering and mathematics building, and media will look to be moving into that new building as part of that curriculum. It is part, we have got some studio spaces which will remain in the other buildings. So you will be working across 2 different buildings in terms of the college, but yes, there will be media lessons happening in the STEM building. Again, it's very exciting for us because it's about branching and delving into new technology, making sure, particularly with media, that it doesn't stand still. We've got to be on that curve of future evolvements in terms of technology.
Dan, there's some good questions there about GCSE requirements for level 3. And I was going to begin to answer that, but I think you can flesh it out a little bit, because of course at level 3, you can enter at different levels. You could enter at level 3 and continue to do maths or English, or it might be that you've got a range of GCSEs that allows you to do a slightly higher BTEC at level 3. Is that the case, Dan?
That's right, yeah. So it's the UAL at level 3, but it's the, like I say, it's about those individual conversations, because the whole point of having entry requirements is about making sure students start at the right level, that they are able to make that progression and able to make the progression to get the very best grade they can get at level 3. We're very experienced in terms of being able to advise students. So being able to give that kind of guidance, where we are saying that if you start at level 2, because you need to complete maths and English and work towards them, we will help you to do that, to build then towards a more successful level 3, and then potentially either onto university or into employment. It's about building those ladders of progression. The level 3, we offer a diploma, which is where we would have an entry requirement of a student needing only either maths or English to achieve that at grade 4 or above. And it is grade 4 or above. So if you are studying maths and English, it's the best grade you can get studying those. And studying at college is again different to then studying at school. And we embed the literacy and the numeracy back into the main core sort of vocation, because it's not separate. Those skills that you need for English are the exact same skills that you need when you're writing scripts for films, and you're embedding those key skills back into the sort of main vocation of media and creative media production. So it's not something separate, and shouldn't be. These knowledges are all encompassing, and they work right across the whole study program. And that's the difference, perhaps, being in college, is we're working towards a vocation and showing you how all of these things, all of these knowledges and skills actually matter.
I would just say in terms of the GCSEs as well, isn't it the case that if you join a lower level of level 1 or level 2, it's still possible to take those GCSEs during the course of your studies? If you move on to level 2 and 3, you can repeat those exams if you want to get a higher grade as well. So
absolutely, and it's about making progress. And that's the key thing that we want for students, is we want them to join the college and make progress and get to where they deserve to be and want to be. There is a question about apprenticeships. So there are apprenticeships in media. They are rarer, and the media field, particularly at the moment, is quite challenging in terms of apprenticeships, purely from the basis that some of those apprenticeship opportunities have retracted. But the media sector is still one of the most vibrant. It has a huge potential to bounce back, and we've kind of seen that when the lockdown over the summer receded. The fact that the media companies and social media companies bounced back, there was greater opportunities being opened up for sort of creative media, particularly sort of creative program making at the moment. So there are huge opportunities, and the media sphere in and of itself is very adaptable. And does adapt very quickly. It's one of those industries that for the UK is still a very vibrant industry, even in spite of everything that's happening. The areas that sort of having an impact are things like live events, but those people are moving to sort of streaming and going online and looking then at how video and how moving image technology can help them achieve that. So yes, there are apprenticeships, and that's worth looking at. Most of the apprenticeships are at level 2 and level 3 rather than at level 1. So the last question I've got here is about application deadline. So we encourage people to apply because that gives us an opportunity to talk to people about their application, to discuss with them about what we do at the college. So I think you can apply at any time between now and September though, and we welcome applications right the way through the academic year.
We had some great questions there, Dan.
We did. There's a question that's just popped up, which is about T-levels in media.
Ooh.
So the answer to that is yes, there will be T-levels coming in media. The T-level plan at the moment for media is 2023. So we haven't seen the T-levels yet in terms of what they will look like and what they will mean. So it is something that we will be engaged with, looking at T-level development. It's one of the big drives, and the key sort of benefit of T-levels is that link to occupational study. So you do 80% in college and 20% in employment. So there are some real benefits. So we offer T-levels at the moment in our IT digital pathways. So as an area, as a curriculum area, we're kind of building that knowledge and skill. And we will sort of look forward to developing the media T-level sort of towards 2022 when they issue the specifications. By that point, we'll have quite a good grounding, I think, in what T-levels are and what they mean. But it's an exciting change. Sorry, Ralph.
I was just going to ask you to clarify about the interview process as well during the lockdown. I know you've mentioned the applications are open right up till September. How about the interviews? How will we be conducting those exactly?
So at the moment, interviews will be conducted via either Teams or over the phone. So it does depend on the applicant and what they would prefer. So happy to do it either way. It's an informal conversation. It's, you know, normally when we interview, what we'd have liked to have done is ask students to come in. We would have done a practical activity with them, just to give them a feeling for what being a student at college is like. That for us is still really important. Hence why we're sort of saying about perhaps trying, if we can, to interview applicants and potential students into the college in the summer term, because it's really important you get a feel for the college, that it's a place that you're happy to be in, but we can show you what we do, and that part, you know, part of the interview process, we can't do at the moment, but we are still very keen, and we do feel that it's very, very important that students feel comfortable in making the choice that they make, that we can show them what being a media student is like and the types of cameras that they'll be using. We get them hands-on in the interview process or in previous years. So part of the conversation, it's not necessarily the end of that application journey, just the beginning. But it's an opportunity to answer questions. It's an opportunity for students to get some individualized feedback and to have conversations about their learning journey and their interest in media. So I think we've answered all of the questions, unless there's anything anybody else just wants to pop into the Q&A at the moment. But you know, we look forward to sort of having applications, and we look forward to having sort of discussions with students and potential students moving forward. And we hope that you've enjoyed it, and hope that you've got something out of watching the video and got the information that you need. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
Thank
I hope you have a good evening and stay safe.